Hey everyone, welcome back to All the Mods 9. A little bit stuck in waiting for things to occur. Keep running out of... And here. Seem to keep running out of fluorite, which is making our fissile fuel, which is a problem because I've had to turn all the mechanism stuff upstairs. So I've made a fluorite B. I have fluorite. Pretty sure I already had fluorite seeds going. And then I was just sort of mucking around a little bit with a photogenic insulator to see just what sort of output I could get from it. I've got a couple augmentations in here, the resonant integral components, the cyclic processing, which just basically puts the seed back in, and then a shellite flux linkage amplifier to give it 110%. I don't know. It makes it faster, I believe. I may be using the wrong thing. It's just machine speed augment. Going a little bit faster. Anyway, using that on here, we can probably take these seeds, and I either go and spam them in the thing down there, or we go and chuck them in like in here, and we recondense them back down to something else. Eventually, popping them downstairs might be smart for a little bit of time at least. I don't have... And we could just do a couple. I don't know whether running them out here will do anything, but we'll see how that goes. Then I'll see how that goes and see what we end up with in terms of any extra fluorite. But I'll leave that off for the moment, and we'll move over to doing something else. Let's put some stuff away. Don't need the bee cages on me at the moment. Have them. Cool. So again, that's it. Just a normal photogenic insulator. Straightforward. Recipes this, some lumium, etc. Kind of basic. I did find we were trying to make... Is it in here? Is it somewhere else? We were making the draconic evolution tools in this backpack. I picked up that create quarry too. It's all in one backpack now. This guy here, the Wyvern sword, we were trying to make the modules for it. So these modules, there's a little bit of a bug, and the only way to make them is if you don't touch the actual potions. So the easiest way of doing that is getting something like the potion brewer and having it instantly go into the system so that I, as the player, don't touch them and change the MBT data. So I can then craft them using the terminal, again, as long as they don't end up in my inventory. So I've made this guy, and as you saw in there, he's got 7 of the modules, and he's got a damage now of 22, which is still nowhere near the 53 I get from my Awakened Supremium sword, but I can make a few more of those upgrades, and maybe even make the next tier of upgrade. We'll go a lot closer to being right click in there. We'll go a lot closer to having some even more powerful stuff. All right, I'm actually going to see. Right, you can have that backpack for the moment. Just because, again, I don't plan on using that quarry right at this very second because it's not quite doing what I want. This is, you'll notice the dashboard here looks a little different. This is another version of, it's someone's fork, basically, of the original program I was using. I don't think it works for me, though, because it doesn't seem, even though these are white, they don't seem to go away. So I'm actually just going to stop this one and go back to my original Warehouse 2 program, which is working. That other program did require the extra screens on the side here, which is why I've got them now. And I was having an issue with, this is the latest version currently of the pack, which, hang on, let me just check what version I'm on. I'm on 1.0.7. I had to update Minecolonies, the mod itself, for it to work again. I was getting crashes with the program, coming up with some faults in the Java code. Now that I've updated Minecolonies and a couple of other pieces, there was a couple of dependent mods, it's working again, so that's really cool. The only reason I had the other version is because this one stopped working, and I was trying to find out whether it was the program or if the mod. It ends up being the mod. But yeah, all working again. This episode, I think it's time that we got into some of the old Pneumaticraft. We do need a few of these things. Predominantly, we need the micro missiles later, but we're going to need the pressure chamber for when we need the micro missiles for all the mods star. So if we go here, I think it's one of these, whichever one it is. This one. It needs to be put into the pressure chamber to make the pulsating black hole. So all of these things. So we are going to need a few things, but we're definitely going to need a pressure chamber. So I figured let's jump into, while we're waiting for more materials, let's jump in and do Pneumaticraft. We've already got a fair bit of this, the ingots and things we need from some of the loot chests that are around the area. And we do have compressed iron seeds. So we're already good in that space. So there's a few things here we can make. Small hoppers, that's interesting. Omnidirectional. There's these crop supports which supposedly make things grow faster. I don't know. But again, what we need right now is this pressure chamber. So let's work towards getting some pressure, and I do think we'll go to a one that runs on power, wherever it ends up being. Take us a little bit to get there though. But let's just follow through our line here. We're going to need some pipes. We're going to need a generator and a few other bits and pieces. So, tube junction. Okay. We're going to end up with something that looks like this. We're going to have some in and out ports. It wants us to make 95 pressure chamber walls, a valve, and 2 interfaces. Okay. So we need a pressure chamber, as it says here. The pressure chamber is an important multi-block structure made up of pressure chamber walls, and you can replace some of it with glass. While the pressure chamber can be as small as 3x3x3, which is a standard one most people make, the one required for the pulsating black hole is 5x5x5. So it's the one we'll be building. The blocks required for this are what's needed for the quest. 4.9 bars of pressure are required for the pulsating black hole. So it does have a few things here on the way to getting this, but let's just work through how we do this. So we've already got the steel, so compressed iron I should call it, sorry. And then we've got reinforced stone. It wants us to make 32 reinforced stone. So let's do that. And then it also wants pipes, obviously, and we're going to want to make an air compressor. I am having a problem with the refined storage system lagging, so I'm finding I'm needing to use the recipes here a bit more. Don't know how much reinforced stone we have actually. Cool, I don't have any. But if I try and pick some of this stuff up, I can't pick it up. It just won't let me do it. But if I craft this, I can craft the items, place them in my inventory. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that. It just is. That was a quest too. That's the reason I grabbed it. Reinforced chest. So let's get rid of the reinforced stone, and then we want this guy. So let's make a little bit more. Ooh, I'm going to need some more reinforced stone. So I'm going to grab that. Then we're going to make reinforced bricks. Cool. And an air compressor. There we go. There's an air compressor. If I go in here and write at new for Pneumaticraft, we've got some spawner agitators, we've got some compressed stone. Cables, we've got the micro missiles. Oh, we already had an air compressor. And we've got a charging station. So again, if I do this and go at Minecolonies, I want to pick some of these things up and it's not letting me charge. Got that one time. Cool. Let's pop that one out of the way. Open this up. That's unlocked a bunch of things because obviously we've got some things running through. Liquid compressor creates pressure using certain liquids. You can put the fuel in by right-clicking the bucket in the machine, pumping in the fluid, or by putting a bucket in the top slot with GUI. So what fluids though? Okay, so there's an available fuels tab. Oh, we do have a lot of oil. We've collected up from our quarry stuff, so we're going to need to convert some of that to fuel in a bit anyway. And the other one here is pressure from heat. There's something hot on one side and something cold on the other to create pressure. Yeah, I mean, it'll end up using up those items though, but still worthwhile looking into making those things if you're early on in your system. We'll make one just because we need it for the quest, not because we need to make, not because I need to use it. But this will take another air compressor, a fluid tank, and some leather. Fluid tank is something we need, so let's pop back out of here. Let's go at Pneumaticraft here. And what have we got? Let me get a little closer here. Liquid compressor. I need a small fluid tank, which means we're going to need some glass. A large fluid tank. It's a huge fluid tank. I want a small one. Well, that'll trigger one. The liquid compressor. There we go. And then where's the heat one? That's a flux compressor. We're going to need one of those guys. We don't have PCBs yet though. So one of the other things in line there that you would have seen is we're going to need the security. I think it's this one here, security upgrade. We need to make a safety tube, which means we need some pressure gauges. So let's just make a couple of them. And go this one. We'll put one of them in there. I'm just going to put that in like that. If it's a quest. It might be, it might not. Thanks, security upgrade. Cool. So again, we've got pipes, we've got some pressure. When making pressure in an air compressor, if you don't have anywhere for the pressure to go, it will just disappear. Make sure you have somewhere for the pressure to go before making. Cool. Claim some quests. The charging station. A fluid tank is just that, and then okay. Over this side, we've got the reinforced stone we made. We've got a logistics 4. A logistic craft. You start with logistics. Craft a logistics core. I recommend reading the Pneumaticraft Repressurized manual for a full tutorial on how these items work. Yep, cool. Logistics frames. Claim that one, it's done. And then reinforced chest. Decent sized chest. And smart requires a PCB, which we don't have yet. Minigun ammo, cool. Cool. And let's just claim the security one. Okay, so if we continue on this route, I need 2 of them, because of course I do. One of them, thanks. Thanks. There we go. Okay, so the other things I obviously need, the pressure thing was pressure chamber valve. I need 1 of those guys. I need 16. Can I make 1? Here, pressure chamber wall. Okay. Cool. I really just want one pressure chamber valve. Okay. And then do these. Okay. So, quest was, let's claim this one. Quest was 95 pressure chamber walls. Got 13. Recipe for this. Really? Reinforced bricks. Oh, so close. That's like 93. Oh, I don't need any more. Reinforced bricks comes from reinforced stone. I need to make some stone. Okay. Some of that. Reinforced bricks. Okay, so that should be enough walls. There we go. Micro missiles just popped as well. Where are we going to build this guy? Where indeed? I mean, this was going to be Greg Tech. Yeah, maybe I'll just... Oh, it's underneath reactors and stuff, but maybe somewhere over here isn't such a terrible idea. Build out this way a bit. You are set to too big an area. Okay, what if I got bricks? And my build gadget. Give ourselves a little bit of a platform. Not terrible. Oop, out of bricks. Okay. I will probably dig this out a little bit more. Just so we've got enough space, but we can do that after. Okay, so it wants you away. Let's grab you. Cool. Fine. Sure. Stuff. Oh, wait. Don't think I need you. We want some pipe. The tube, though. Got a bit. Again. Tube. Okay, so that should be enough. All right, so let's grab our air compressor. And we're going to pop him. Whoops. I'm going to pop him there. Okay. And then, as it said before, we want to put a 5x5 thing down. Bring this up after. So, I want to bring this over one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Chamber wall, I'm thinking, and it's hurting. Okay. Jokes aside. Let's sink this guy into the floor. Okay. And then we're going to want the valve, which is where their air is going to go in. What are the pressure chamber windows like? If I just make like 4 of them, make another set. Low glass. Use any glass? Come on. Let's see. System's just being a bit buggy, right? Cool. There we go. Okay, so if I think we're going to end up having our in and out on this side, so I want the interfaces. Let's go one there, and I don't know if I need to do it like this. But we got one going in, one going out, so I think blue is the outside anyway. We'll work it out. It'll come down to when we first get this going again. So let's put glass in here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our full shape. Missed. Okay. Missed. I missed. 1. Oh my gosh. All right. So here is our pressure chamber. This is the in, this is the out, because this one's open waiting for an item to go in. Cool. Grab a tube and put that there. And then in here, we don't want it to explode, so we're going to open the upgrades tab. Well, this is where you can put your upgrades in. You can put a security upgrade in. Adds a built-in safety valve to the machine, automatically releasing some air if the pressure would rise in the danger zone. So we can pop one of them in there. This won't explode now. And if we pop one in here, this won't explode. We are going to need more than one compressor, or especially more than this one compressor. But let's just, and I want some space here. And I want to be able to run some sort of fuel. This is going to sound, oh, did I break? I probably broke something, that's fine. I'll do this and grab some wax. Can you run on wax? Oh yeah, you can. And it's actually not too bad. So we got 33,000 wax. Let's get an exporter. 33,000 wax. 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 try that again in the amount of time before it all bugs out and doesn't allow me to do what I want. Oh goodness, that was even worse. I went for export and oh, it worked. Okay, so we want to export into this. We've got cable here. Cool. Let's grab some cable. Good. Not pipe, cable. Thanks. Okay. If we go exporter, here, turn this onto like wax. That should keep a steady supply wax in the system and using that. And then what I might do, what else we got that's a lot of that can burn? Burn all the things. What do we got? Thinking wood, something wood. We've got these frostbite saplings, which could probably go for a torched. We do have a lot of coal. We've got blocks of coal here. I mean, it's not terrible. We've got 132 coal. Again, I use this system to burn off some items. I don't need 14,000 frostbite saplings. So I'm going to grab that and maybe even the log, but you know what? You can be like next in line. And then once that runs out, maybe we go to coal at that point. Cool. Nice. Let's get rid of you. All right. So that's going to very slowly do its thing. Pressurize up to that. It's going to take a little bit because this is a larger area. And then we're going to need to work on what's going in here and how we're using this. Insert valid items. Correct size. And we're very slowly. It needs to get up to 432 millibuckets of air. We're at 28,000. So 29 of 432. All right, let's claim a couple of quests here. Crude oil. Next stage of the mod requires a collection of crude oil. Got some. This oil can be found naturally on the surface of the world. Overworld, I should say. I do have that. Gas lift. Although you can find crude oil on the surface, drilling is a great way to obtain a bunch of oil. Let's use a seismic sensor until you find oil underneath you, then use your gas lift filled with drill pipes to drill for oil. This requires pressure to work. That is cool. I don't think I've ever used this when playing around with Minecolonies. I've generally just soaked it up with a quarry and used it from there. Oil refinery. Okay, so we're going to be making pressure here. Again, we need to get up to a point. Let's claim a couple of quests. We need to get up to a point where we've got pressure, and you know we can make pressure from something else. Like I said, we've got the from liquids one here. But yes, this is just literally a recycling exercise. So, what do you want? Again, we're trying to push through all these chemicals because we need to get to the PCBs and stuff, things. Pressure from power. That's where we want to get. I mean, we can try something really silly and go, can I make one of these? An advanced air compressor. What about the powered one? A tube. Hello? Mods? Help me? Flux compressor? Yeah, see we would need PCBs. We don't have any. Don't have any of that. We don't have any acid. We don't have any PCBs. That's cool. Okay. So we do have a bit of a chain to get there. So the next thing we need to do is make oil refineries. And the oil refinery is going to need heat. Oil refinery we'll be making is a 1x1x5 multi-block made from one refinery controller and 4 refinery outputs. You'll need to input oil and heat for this to work. This will produce diesel, kerosene, gasoline, and LPG. Putting thermal laggings on the sides help keep it warm. So as you can see here, we've got pressure, and then there's a heat exchanger-y thing there, whatever they're called, the heat vortex tube. It's one of those guys. It's probably got a heat sink on one side, and then some heat pipe to be able to put the heat into it. And then, as I said, we're going to need some heat from some air pressure. We'll need both. So let's get the vortex tube, which is cheap. Hello, can I please have one vortex tube? Hiding everyone. There it is. One of these guys. And then I'm also going to want compressor's weird. We're going to want the processing unit. Okay. This guy. Binary controller, binary outputs. Controller, refinery. Like I do need a heat sink. Let's make one of them. I do need some heat pipe. Looks like we're going to need 3 blocks of pressed iron. Not that one. This one. And whatever these are. Thermal lagging. Thermal lagging is wool and glass. Make some thermal lagging. And then I want binary. It's down further. Interesting that some are in like a certain order and some are not. We need a small fluid tank. We're going to need some reinforced stone slabs, controller, canisters, and iron. Liquid hoppers, I guess. Charging station. Right. And then I want 4 of these guys. I'm going to need some of this. Need some of this. Needs more stone. What else can I use? Use this. Oop. Stone. Stacks. Oh, we're not out of cobblestone. Don't make me laugh. Cobblestone indeed. Let's see what we can do here. Sure, we'll do it in this. Oop. 9 of them. Funny. Them. Cool. All this stuff. Okay, can you make me stone? Terrible, I know, but we are getting point where we need to wrap up. I just wanted to get this last little bit done, which is the refinery output. Another lot of that. Cool. The refinery output. We'll need some more glass. And then I'm going to need some more stone. That's 2 of the refinery thingies. I want 2 more. 2 more of these. Good. Cool. So that's the 4. This guy, which I think I need to make thermal lagging. And then it'll unlock that. So thermal lagging is somewhere here. Oh, uses of that. Heat pipe. Nice. All right. So we just got through to that point here. So let's claim some stuff. Bit of that. Bit of this. And some of that. Cool. So next episode, we'll set this guy up and we'll start producing all the stuff. And I don't know how much of this we're going to need, but we'll work through what we need. Vegetable oil. Yeast. Okay. I don't know how much we need this. Definitely need this. Well, this line here and maybe this line here. Plastic all the way through to PCBs and then etching PCBs. So there's a bit of work to come yet, but this is a decent size chamber. There's my thumbnail. And I'm going to wish you all a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is when you're watching this. And I hope you leave those comments down below and join me for the next thumbnail. Bye, everyone.